are here today with our first virtual episode of the Opalus Report, and we are going to be interviewing Dr. Bremley Lyngdoh on his work in environmental conservation. So a little bit about Bremley. He's such an incredible man. He was born in Shillong, the Scotland of the East, located in the highland of Meghalaya in northeast India, and left home at 17 on a mission to see sustainable development pushed and practiced across the planet. His experience at the 1995 UN 50th Anniversary Assembly in New York left him convinced that helping people build a better life through social, environmental, and economic development was what he wanted to do. He'd returned to India to join the Consortium of Indian Scientists for Sustainable Development and worked on a project to combat desertification and to regenerate the desert ecosystem in Rajasthan. Soon followed the prestigious WWF Prince Bernhard Scholarship for Environmental Leadership. Bremley then joined UNDP and worked on the Gulf of Manaar Biodiversity Protection Project in Tamil Nadu. This led to a move to New York to join the UN Commission on Sustainable Development Secretariat, where he worked with the different major groups of Agenda 21. His prime minister in India then appointed him as the youth ambassador for his country at the UN Millennium Summit, where he addressed world leaders at the 2000 Millennium Assembly. He then joined the Environment Department of the World Bank and worked on linking poverty reduction and environmental management by analyzing policy challenges and opportunities, after which he moved to Boston and joined the Education Development Center. As an explorer, he has traveled to 75 countries around the world on different missions. Bremley received postgraduate degrees from Columbia University in the US, the London School of Economics in the UK, and University of Geneva in Switzerland, and the Intercultural Open University in the Netherlands. He has a dual Ph.D. in Sustainable Development from the Azteca University in Mexico and the Central University of Nicaragua. He is the founder and CEO of Worldview Impact, the co-founder of the Global Youth Action Network, and co-chairs of the United Nations CSD Education Caucus. He is an environmental diplomat, and we are very inspired by the work that he does. Today we are reporting from an interesting location because of the COVID restrictions and lockdown. This is actually the forest on the farm that we grew up on, and so Bremley is also reporting from a location that is very special to him. Bremley, can you tell us a little bit about why the forest that you are in is so special to you and where your roots really started from?
And this is my ancestral village in Mauplang. Right now we are in our sacred forest, or the Lyngdoh sacred forest, which our clan has been maintaining for more than 500 years. This is a very sacred ground because it's a place of worship. It is sanctified. Our ancestors have got altars there where they actually have sacrifices, where they give thanks to the Creator, the Almighty God. And we have about 500 species of different organisms and species that grow in this forest. It's so unique. And as a matter of fact, each Khasi clan used to have a sacred forest like this, but this is one of the few that remains today in our land, in our state. So it is our duty and responsibility to protect this forest for generations to come.
So Bremley, we know that a lot of your work is focused on youth empowerment and youth engagement, specifically for climate action.
Back on August 12, 2000, the United Nations Youth Unit gave me the World Youth Award for implementing the World Youth Program of Action for the year 2000 and beyond. Something I had been working in India 10 years before that, implementing the United Nations program at the national level through the Indian Parliament in all states, with the help of the Indian Federation of United Nations Association and the Speaker of the Parliament then. Now, 20 years later, we've achieved a lot. For example, back in 2000, we started the Global Youth Action Network in New York and mobilized 5 million young people in 175 countries, taking action through Global Youth Service Day, mobilizing projects to support their communities around the world. Then later, 5 years later, we created the Youth Employment Summit campaign to support young entrepreneurs in 50 developing countries, financing them on their projects that are creating green, sustainable jobs for young people in their communities. Then when I reached London, I started Worldview Impact about 10 years ago, and we've been restoring mangrove ecosystems in Myanmar with local partners there. And so far, we have planted 9.5 million trees in the Delta region of Myanmar. And our goal is to plant 1 billion mangrove trees right across the Bay of Bengal region and other Asian countries that are fighting the good fight of climate change. Next, about 5 years ago, I started Eco-Friend World, and now we are restoring mountain ecosystems here in northeast India to prevent floodwater runoff and start rainwater retention in the highlands.
Wow, that is incredible. Next, we would love if you could share with us a little bit about what inspired you to create Ride East and what exactly that is.
We had 10 other riders, including Ashley from the United States and her friends, a few riders from the United Kingdom, Micah, and then Carlos from Spain and other European countries. And I had arrived a bit earlier, 5 days earlier, before the Chief Minister, Conrad Sangma, would flag us off on the 15th of March. But thanks to COVID-19, everything was locked down. So we had to abort our mission for implementing Operation Ride East on March 15. But hopefully we can rendezvous again next year, perhaps when things improve with the spread of this pandemic, and we can execute Operation Ride East and ride together all the way up to the eastern Himalayan foothills to the Tiger's Nest in Bhutan, and along the way plant trees and work with local entrepreneurs who are making a difference in their villages, in their communities, all along the 1,000-kilometer trek from India to Bhutan to the Chinese border and back. So stay tuned for the next Operation Ride East. Hopefully we can implement it next March, the 15th to the 25th.
As we both have worked in technology, we've been inspired by so many incredible technology applications that have been able to combat climate change in different ways. We're interested, for you, Bremley, what has inspired you and what you think are the most exciting technology applications for combating climate change and increasing climate resilience.
Innovative projects like the one supported by the United Nations to restore the ecosystem through nature-based solutions, and with local actors here in Northeast India like the Impulse NGO Network and the Impulse Social Enterprises led by my good friend Hasina Karbi, who's doing a fundraising campaign to raise money for women who have been rescued from being trafficked from this part of the world, and now these women need your support. Then there are other projects like my friend who's stuck in Bali for the past 5 months from COVID-19. She is trying to start up a new project to remove the plastic waste from the oceans and create new footwear and costumes and clothes and swimwear from recyclable plastic waste that is in the ocean. That's pretty amazing. And there are many other innovative projects like providing clean tech and clean energy and water purification systems led by my friend Ashley, who's based in Chicago, but working with women across Africa, Latin America, and up here in Nepal in the highlands. So this is a story of young people making a difference. And as we celebrate the UN, and this year's theme is focused on youth engagement for global action.
Okay, I think that does it for our very first episode featuring our brilliant partner, Dr. Bremley Lyngdoh. We want to thank you, Bremley, so much for taking the time to share with us today about the incredible work you're doing.
And thank you for the work that you're doing to empower others for global action.
Signing off from Shillong, Meghalaya. Thank you very much.